Hi,
Hello,
good
everybody.
morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And once again, welcome back in episode number 23 of Unknown to Known with Sandeep Rajput. Definitely, it's actually unknown for me as well because I literally don't know about who is Sandeep Rajput. But definitely, I want to be bring him on the platform so that we should together know that who is Sandeep. So, Sandeep, once again, welcome back in this episode of Unknown to Known, episode number 13 on my YouTube channel, Learn and Grow Together with Atulji. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and first of all, thanks a lot, Atul, for inviting me on your podcast. And this has truly been a very good opportunity, I would say. And thanks a lot for inviting me here.
Pleasure, definitely. Pleasure is all mine. So, Sandeep, we'll start this discussion little in a few seconds, as per the tradition which I generally follow at my side, because we think that everything which we are going doing now is always with the God grace. So, let's take a few second pause here, pray to God, and who can give us the power, strength, and the words which you want to be communicate. Because now you are on the very big platform on the social media. We all on the social media now, and people are watching you, listening you. May take your advice, may take your words for the further in the future as well. So let's pray to God, give us the
Sure.
right power, give us the right strength, and give us the right words to be go ahead for the same. And then we'll open the session formally with you. Okay. Okay, Sandeep. So this is your first podcast and first live video as well, right?
That's correct. I am kind of camera shy person, so I
But
usually avoid, but then you insisted, so I thought of coming onto the
okay,
camera.
okay. So how are you feeling now?
It's good. It's good. Basically, I've been in the background for long, so it's good
Mhm.
that I've gotten some kind of exposure. So it feels nice, I would say. Yeah.
Nice. Nervous, something nervous or like tension. What will be happen now in next 1 hour or what you're feeling?
No, actually, the kind of chat that we had prior to this
Mhm.
session, it basically is things out. So yeah, I would say I'm not nervous at the moment.
Nice, nice, nice. And don't worry, we have a lot of members or the guests or the community people here who joining me for almost every weekend with me. So they are also supportive here. So if you think that you're feeling something low here, so we
Uh-huh.
have Jerry and other guys. Guys, please put some motivation words for Sandeep so that he get motivated and share a lot of knowledge with us. Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you very
Sandeep.
much.
So go as per the tradition. I want to know about Sandeep because this episode is mainly for the unknown. I know
Uh-huh.
you are famous on the community, you are famous on the LinkedIn as well, but I want to know Sandeep as an individual. That who is Sandeep and how and what he's doing in the service now domain at point of time. How you reach at this particular stage because you are a complete technical guy here as of now. I can say technical architect. I can say lead here. So how you build this particular journey here so that other people also can get motivated on that particular part.
Okay, so I started my career with Infobeans way back in 2008. I joined
Okay.
Infobeans as a trainee software engineer,
Oh,
and then initially I started my career with .NET. Then I moved to Drupal, then moved to mobile. And in mobile, I was specifically I was a developer. I developed applications for Apple.
hmm,
There were some few chartbuster apps. One was made for World Cup Soccer 2009, and it was a
nice.
chartbuster app on both Indian App Store as well as on the South African App Store.
Oh,
Then
nice.
I moved up in the ladder. I became a project manager, and somewhere in 2016-17, I realized that I am moving away from the technology,
Hmm.
and I'm more of a guy who basically takes out the pleasure when he implements something. And I
Correct.
was just collecting requirements from the customers, doing team management, helping team members, but there was no technical work involved into it, and I was not
Okay.
drawing pleasure out of it. The project in which I was working, the customer was very happy with my work,
Hmm.
company was happy, but I was not, extracting pleasure from it. So I
Hmm.
reached out to my manager, stating that I am not enjoying this role. Can you make me the developer again? But
Okay.
that time it was difficult for the organization to basically, transfer me in a different role in the
Hmm.
same department. So basically, they asked me if I want to try something new, And
Okay.
I really, at that time, we were just starting the ServiceNow practice. I
Okay.
really got that opportunity, and I joined ServiceNow as a developer. So I
Mhm.
started learning ServiceNow from scratch in the year 2018, and it has
Oh,
been around 6 years so far. I played different roles, right from the role of a developer, process consultant, and now I am a technical architect with one of the biggest conglomerate in Germany. So yeah,
nice.
that has been the journey so far.
So I remember that there's a concept called the bell curve, which is like this, and then you go this. So
Yeah,
I think you literally follow that. You reach on the project management, and then you come back again, coming as a fresher.
yeah.
So how was the experience when you move out from a very well established position which you got as a project manager and
Yeah.
coming as a kind of again a fresher kind of a developer role? How are you feeling that particular part?
I mean,
Like
it
it was
was
the right
initially,
decision
it
or bad
was
decision or what need to be done that particular stuff?
yeah. So before, just before taking this session, there was one interesting exercise going on within my organization, and the
Mhm.
exercise was called "Who Moved My Cheese." So
Oh
basically,
yes.
yeah. And I was part of that exercise, and then I realized that though I've been working in mobile for a long time, but the
Mhm.
size of the projects were small. The
Okay.
kind of applications that we were designing, they were getting monotonous, like
Mhm.
fetching the data from web services, showing them within the application, and then that was it. Either we were designing some games, or we were designing some applications for the customers. And um, the kind of knowledge that I was taking out from those experiences was very limited. Then
Okay.
a need of changing the whole paradigm and starting.
Right.
And at that time, ServiceNow was famous, but not that famous.
Right.
When I joined the team, in fact, I was not even aware of ServiceNow, what exactly ServiceNow was at that
Mhm.
time. So I started from scratch, started learning different aspects of ServiceNow. And when I came here and when I saw the platform, I saw a very limited, opportunities in terms of the customization that one can make,
Correct.
and the kind of challenges that one can have when they customize the platform. But then there was another half of it, which was the process part of it,
Right.
which is the ITIL processes. I was not aware of the ITIL processes, but when I started knowing the ITIL processes, the IPC model, and the different things within
Right.
ServiceNow, then I started to enjoy ServiceNow, and now I am fully into ServiceNow. So I like love ServiceNow to the core, I would say.
So if it's, I can say that now service now is in our blood. If you take
Yeah.
blood out, so with RCB, CCB, we have a service now sample as well nowadays.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Okay. So Sandeep, I'll take a step back now again because your journeys look very interesting because nowadays a lot of veterans are coming in the service now domain. What is your qualification? Means are you a kind of a BTech or BSc guys? Means who has a development in the initial phase,
Yes.
or you're coming like me? I'm a BCom guy, BCom and then MCA, and then I come to the industry. So how was your background come in this picture?
So my in my graduation, I did my Bachelor of Science from Indore University.
Okay,
Then I did my masters from Bhopal University. I'm a master of computer applications.
same pinch.
Yeah. And then in 2014, I completed my master of business administration
Mhm.
from Indore University. So yeah,
Oh,
MBA
nice.
and CA, both.
Double masters,
Yes.
sir. Okay, good, Sandeep. So, Sandeep, one more thing which I'll because you are the first one whose journey is like going up and down and then again up. That's an answer that bell curve. You actually follow the bell curve because it's not that much easy to be coming from a well-established position to becoming as a developer. So, first, when you entered 2018 in ServiceNow domain, what
Uh-huh.
was feeling in next 6 months that is it the right decision you have pick up or you think no yaar, ye tool to it's not good tool, let's go back to the my Drupal or other technologies which you were using earlier. So how
Uh-huh.
was it feeling that time?
So when I took this decision finally, because I was leaving a well-established position, and I was also leaving my customer at that time, and I had very good rapport with them at
Hmm.
time. So when I was having the final discussion with my manager told me that you will be joining this team not as a manager, but as a developer, and you'll have to keep your ego aside,
Right.
because you will be reporting to your juniors in some
True.
cases, and there will be tough situations for you. and I was ready for it because if you truly want to learn something, you have to start it from scratch. You cannot
Mm.
just go as a manager and start asking your team members to do something. And I'm a kind of person who believes in basically getting the things done using
Right.
hands. I get my hands dirty in the code, and I love to do that because that is how you set example for your team members.
Team members. Right.
And
No,
even
that's
to this
that's
date, though I'm a technical architect, but I enjoy doing codes, and I love doing the technical stuff for my customers.
nice. No, that's true. Definitely. Again, it's a saying again that if you want to be learned, your ego should be outside. Only then
Exactly.
you can learn. That's the one thing. So now let's come on this journey. Definitely learning a new tool is not that much easy. If after I can say 2009 you say that you started a journey and 2018 you pick up the service now, so like 9 years 10 years you already in the industry for a long time now, right? So how you think that, or how you, what's your point to start service now learning perspective, that how you start learning on that particular part? Have you just jump in the coding directly, or you have some plan in your mind, or maybe your manager put some plan, or your company put some plan? Okay, Sandeep, go X, Y, Z, and then we can go to next step. What was your journey on that particular part?
Okay, so when I transitioned into ServiceNow, my reporting manager, he did help me. Basically, he shared all the initial steps that I had to basically follow to become a
Okay.
ServiceNow professional. So he made a plan for me, and wherein there were some steps that I needed to achieve that time. So
Okay.
initially went through the ITIL training, which is basically the most important stuff for someone who is going to be a part of this journey. Then
Right.
I went through the certified system administrator course. I did my certification within first month of joining the ServiceNow team itself, and then there from there onwards, I started the journey of ITSM, IT service management, wherein I
Right.
started going through the entire concepts, how the incident problem change processes work, how the request service request work, how the catalog items help the customers
Mhm.
and their users, and all those kind of stuff. So from there onwards, I started taking help from the documentation which is made available by ServiceNow,
Service now, right.
courses that we have related to ITSM. I
Okay.
started participating in different projects as a shadow resource for the customers, and that's how the entire journey started. And then right after that, I mean, after initial 6 months, which was basically a training duration for me,
Mhm.
I entire overhauling of the change management for one of our customers in the US, and
Okay.
that project basically made me learn the entire change process in detail.
Mm. Nice. So again, a question is put by Jerry, maybe in the some different words. What resources other than service, not docs? What other resources you put up together to go through this journey?
So basically, till 2020, I
Mhm.
was just following the community. I didn't contribute anything towards the
Okay.
community, but I was consuming the content from the community mainly. And
Okay.
apart from the ServiceNow official documentation, community was the main source using which I was drawing the knowledge
Okay.
for my projects. Yeah.
So when you say from the community, like people are putting questions, you are learning that part, or you're following the blogs as well on that particular stuff.
So I'm an avid reader, so I would say all the websites or different websites. So you can talk about SN Nerd SN
Right.
Nerd's website, and then the other ServiceNow Guru,
SM Guru.
yes,
Yes.
and
SM
Guru.
Guru.
Yeah. So all these websites, they in fact till today they are the best sources of ServiceNow knowledge that you can utilize.
That's nice. That's nice. Good to know. Good to know. Good. So it means for anybody now, I can say from anybody who's thinking being a veteran, want to be come back in the industry, Sandeep is the right example here, because you prove that yes, even though I'm a project manager, but I can go in the development again on that particular part as well. Definitely.
Yep. Yep.
Good to know. Definitely, Sandeep. Now let's come to the next part of your journey.
Sure.
So in the last 6 years, approximately, I can say that you're in the service now domain, right?
Yep.
And oh, why we have a two new guests here. Kelly is joining for us with us on from US. She's from the Glide Fast. Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining this session. And definitely, we need some motivation to be continue this session for a long time now. Okay, so you are in the 6 years in the service now domain. Okay, what is your core skill set? And how you get that skill set? Like definitely you have something in the mind that okay, ITSM, then GRC, then SecOps. So how you plan that particular stuff?
Okay, so initially I started with ITSM. And as I said, I initially did some alignment of the processes for one of our customers in the US. And then I got an opportunity, a small opportunity, to work within CSM. So that's how
Okay.
I became familiar with CSM. And then since last 4 years, I've been into HR service delivery
Okay.
primarily, and doing the process implementation in HR for our customers. Processes like core case management, HR service implementations, or the onboarding related implementations, or
Okay.
employee journeys for the customer, basically.
Nice, nice, nice. Good. So again, and how much the contribution you think that community give you to build this skill set? Because everybody talk about ServiceNow community is very big, so helpful, but because I'm a pure process consultant, okay, I deal on the facts and figures. So can you give us some specific use cases, some specific examples that Atul, this particular module I learned only and only from the community only? Because there's a lot of questions are there. I try to answer it and I learned this particular point.
Okay, so regardless of the module, ServiceNow community is basically the biggest source for any individual who is part of ServiceNow,
Right.
ecosystem. So when I started my career, I was completely blank, because even if you are a technical guy, you need some transitioning to basically become proficient with a new technology that you are joining in.
Right.
And that time, different blogs and posts from Ankur Baviskar or the other
Right.
guys who are very active on the community, they really help you a lot, because at
Okay.
times even a small mistake in the code could break things for you, and you will end up spending a lot of time fixing that. But
Right.
when you post the same problem on the community, there are folks who will help you out within 5-10 minutes, and then you will be through with your problem.
Correct.
So yeah, regardless of the module, or regardless of the product line where you're working in, service community is the biggest source wherein you can get a lot of help from.
Okay.
And from HR's perspective, I've seen numerous articles from different consultants from different companies who are
Right.
part of different regions who are contributing in the HR space. And then there are ServiceNow employees who are also participating in that, and using that, you can basically enhance your knowledge a lot.
Correct. 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 No, that's actually a good part, and we'll come back on this point again after some time. Now, I want to go for the next level.
Uh-huh.
So, Sandeep Rajput is a rising star, 2024, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
First question, which I asked to everybody: how you were feeling when you received this email that welcome in the Rising Star cohort 2024? What was the feeling that time? It was like in the day you got an email, or you were sleeping in the morning, you saw that email in your inbox. How was that feeling?
Okay, let me explain my Rising Star journey. So, I initially became Rising Star in 2023,
Okay.
and the 2024 is the second time when I became the Rising Star. But for the first time, in fact, I did not even nominate myself for the Rising Star. So it was my
Oh, okay.
colleagues. Um, in 2023, I was barely having 5 upvotes on my post. I barely
Okay.
had 10 posts on the community. And
Okay.
few of my colleagues decided to basically nominate me as a rising star. And
Okay.
I was not expecting that I'll become a rising star, because there are many folks who contribute on the community.
Yes.
And then I suddenly received an email from Sarah Gary that I became a rising star. And it was completely a surprise for me, because I was not ready for it. And I was not expecting that I'll become a rising star, because
Okay.
those they nominated me and I became. And then even till that time, I was not very serious about the community contribution. But then
Okay.
it was a rising star virtual meetup organized by
Mhm.
Sarah, and when she mentioned that now you are a rising star, so with power comes the responsibility. So now
True.
you start contributing on the community. And when I started, it became more like an addiction, because when you start getting the encouragement from the fellow community members, people tell
Yes.
you for different problems, and they would like to discuss different things with you. So I came to know a lot of folks on the community, outside of the community, with the help of the community direct message functionality that we have on the community. So
Wow. Nice. Nice.
how
Nice.
the journey
So
started, and and it's going on great, I would say.
no, that's definitely wonderful. And the good part is that when it come to you as a surprise, it have a more value. You actually enjoy that moment. Wow, someone nominated me and I become a rising star. Even though For people it's like a just a award, but if you think that who are you and what you are doing in this particular part is definitely a good thing, because it's a responsibility now. People know
Exactly,
that you
exactly.
are a star and you are your contribution matters actually. Okay, what's the
And I would
plan?
like to mention one more thing that
Sure,
right
sure.
after attending the first meetup, I was in guilt that I do not belong to this group because I did not did enough for the community, and still I'm holding this status. So I need to justify this. So how can I
Right.
justify this? By contributing more, and
More
then I
right.
started contribution. So
Nice. No, this is again a good thing. If you means yourself is giving you that particular step that no you are not eligible but still you're getting it. That's fine. Now you have to be prove it that you are actually right person to be get these particular things. Okay. So
yes.
now what's the plan for the MVP journey?
I mean, I honestly don't know about the MVP journey because I tried last year nominating myself,
Mhm.
but the system is totally different.
Right.
And
We have changed from 1 to 2.0 now MVP
exactly,
2.0, right?
exactly. And since I'm only on the community side and not more of a content creator, so I would
Mhm.
say ServiceNow has slightly changed the criteria. They look an all-rounder person these days for the MVP position.
Might
So
be.
maybe or may not be, but I'm happy with the rising star status that I have. So yeah.
No, but I'll strongly recommend don't lose the hope. Nominate yourself this year as well, because there are people who are just doing one side and they are also MVP in that particular domain as well.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now come to your contribution perspective. Okay, believe me, I'm following you for a long time in the community now. For
Okay.
me, it's like a 1 year only, but I'm following you for the long. In this 1 year, I'm following you. How you get a time to answer on the community, number one part, and during your office hours. That is the first part. I'm
Uh-huh.
sure that you are in office now and nobody's from office listening to listen, listening these secrets. But how you do this particular part, how you get the time, because I see
Okay.
your answers on the weekends as well, sometime on the Sundays, on the holidays as well. How you get the
Okay.
time?
So okay. So as I said before, community is more of an addiction. So you cannot just get away from your addiction, I would say. So yeah, at times it becomes very difficult because during the weekdays I have a lot of meetings with the customers, and
Right.
I closely work with my German colleagues and Portuguese colleagues a lot. So at times it becomes very difficult to basically participate on the community. But what I try to do is I try to contribute early in the morning
Okay.
or late in the night, so that I have some time or bandwidth available for me to
Right.
contribute on these items. Or during the lunch times when I have some free time available, I try to contribute. And on
Right.
the weekends, yeah, on the weekends, it's all yours. Basically, you have a lot of time there, so you can contribute more very freely.
Right. So we got a comment from Jerry now that Sandeep's office area look very nice. You're in office, Sandeep.
Yes, yes, I'm.
I thought it's a screenshot you put it there.
No, no, no. So that's a cherry blossom tree right behind me. If
It's
you
original or
want, I
it's
can
like a
point
duplicate one,
that.
or it's original one, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow, Jerry,
I
let's
mean, it's
let's
an artificial cherry blossom tree, but it looks kind of very original, I would say.
wow, nice setup. So
Do a
when you
very
fed up with your
setup
meetings,
for
you
proteins. Yeah.
sorry. So when you fed up with your meetings, you come and have a coffee under that and say, "Oh my God, let's write some poems. Let's write write something." Oh, that's look. Thanks, Jared, for bringing this in my notice as well. I thought it's some screen, some wallpaper in the background. Okay, now we'll play a game now. Okay, and we'll come back on your contribution again. So the rules are very simple of this game. Okay, and Jerry is smiling now because Jerry know this is the toughest game we are going to play now. Okay, I will give one alphabet, and you
Okay.
have to be tell me one word or one definition, one term from the service now.
Okay.
The only thing is that you can't take the service now release name. Otherwise,
Okay.
that game will be over.
Over. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Try to be bring as much as new terms if you come in your mind, like client script, business will everybody know. But if something latest or something new words come in your mind, try to be answer on that particular part.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So good luck to you, Sandeep. And definitely Jerry, you will be watching it for very closely now. Good luck to you as well, because Jerry also answer on this particular part.
Okay.
Okay. Something with T.
Something with T. Transaction logs.
Transaction logs. Other than this,
Other than this, let me think. Transaction logs. What?
Jerry, Kelly, and everybody who is watching this or enjoying this live session, they can put the questions. Anything with the T other than transaction log.
I can only think of transaction logs.
Timer, timer in the workflows.
Timer in the workflows, yes, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, something with you.
You.
Yes.
Okay, that's a nice one. Mm,
Come on, come
help me
on.
out. You.
Everybody's using you nowadays. Tough, complicated process, complicated module.
Come on. Mm, let
Jerry
me.
Sandeep supports Sandeep now with the U.
That's a.
UI builder, UI builder.
Come on, UI builder. Yes, 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 yes.
Other than this, UI builder, UI. Other than this, what do you think, Jerry? What do you think?
UI
Upload,
scripts, UI scripts, UI policies,
right? Okay. Something with V.
views, views,
Views. Okay. Other than this, views.
virtual agent.
Oh my god! Now you got the point. Yes, user criteria is one thing that's nice. User interface, UI policy, and about the U, Jerry says upload. UX is one of the things, and with the T, Jerry said tables as well. That's the basics one. Nice,
Yeah.
good. Okay, we'll take the last one, then we'll go to the other question. Starting with G.
Okay. gs.log, gs.info, glide system.
Okay, I'm looking for some fancy words.
Some fancy
Come
words.
on, G. Knowledge 23, knowledge 24 was full of this G only.
Gen AI.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Definitely. Gen AI is the latest word which we can see here in this particular word. Also, we generally reply V stands for virtual agent, version, variable set as well. We can count it here. Nice. Okay. Now we'll go back again to your contribution. Okay, we'll come back on this game because I see that people are be engaging themselves in this game. Glide SX as well. Wow. GRC, validate.
Yeah.
Nice. A lot of terms we'll be getting now. Okay. So I have a question because you say, Sandeep, that you work or you play a role kind of glide fast. Kelly will not miss a chance to be popularize this term. Definitely. Kelly, let's go. This is what Michael says, and it's really hard and I can say sadful to be see this news as well. Okay, Chali, let's come back now. So you say that you work as a process consultant as well on the process perspective as well. And nowadays we see a lot of questions on the community
Yeah.
that people or the community member says that I want to do this thing or XYZ thing. Can you give me the code? But before that code, we think that is it a good way to do the process side or not? How you think that how do we handle those situations? That are being a technical guy, will you provide the solution first or will you challenge the requirement? No, it's not a good requirement.
Okay, it depends on the situation. So, I mean, we frequently face these kind of situations in our project,
Right.
and because the kind of customer with whom I work, they have presence in more than 180 countries, and
Correct.
when you have that kind of presence, the challenges are totally at a different level. So when we started doing the HR implementation for them, we got numerous requirements, and because when you have such a huge presence and the kind of local laws that are there and the kind of HR processes that they have, you need to find a solution which can basically work um, not only at the global level but also at the local level, and wherein
Right.
and we if we talk about the out of the box ServiceNow HR SD processes, basically you'll have to align them in context of the customers, and at times you have to go with the customizations as well, but you need to be very cautious when you are planning for a customization that changes the ServiceNow code. So if you are building something which is completely custom, when it does not touches anything within ServiceNow core, then you are all right because you can maintain or own that customization.
Right.
You are changing the out of the box, then the kind of technical debt that you are going to carry in future, it will be huge, and it will become basically a nightmare for your team whenever you are going to upgrade to the next release.
Perfectly
So
fine. No, that's true. But again, the question come because in this live session, I can say like Kelly is there, Jerry is there, myself is there, and a lot of people who are mainly from the process side. So like Kelly is account executive, Jerry working as a product manager, product owner. I'm working as a process consultant. But again, there is a situation when technical team is not agree on the process and they say no, no, let's go and do this particular part. So how you handle that conflict specifically? Definitely these are in the practical life as well, and these questions came in the community as well, that
Yep.
I want this thing. Because I share one latest example. There's a one guy who put a question on the community and say, I want to make some change in the change management process, can you help me on this particular part? So I answer on that question that no, it's not a good practice from the process side, let's not do. Other person reply on the same post and say, Atul, you are right, but also provide the code as well to how to fix this particular part. Now, how to handle those situations? Shall that person should follow the answer coding part, or shall he or she follow the process? What do you think on that particular part?
Okay, so I would say the emphasis should be given to the process part,
Mm-hmm.
but then there could be situations wherein you cannot simply avoid that
Requirement.
customization of the
Yes.
technical part of it, because at times I've seen that customers are very specific about some things and they want to do it in their own way, and since
Correct.
they are paying for it, so you have to basically align with them. You cannot simply say
Mhm.
that this is not what ServiceNow out of the box
Offer,
says,
right.
you're not going to do it, because that's not how the consultant work. Basically, at times you have to be very flexible. You have to listen to your customer and try to address their problems. And there are cases wherein their requirements are due to the local compliances that they have to
100%.
follow.
Yes.
So in those cases, I would say yes. That initially the emphasis should be given to the process part, but
Process. Okay.
then if something that needs to be achieved and there is no other way around, then you can follow the technical suggestions that the other guy has made,
Right.
but with the caveats that you will have to carry that technical debt in the future, and your customer should be aware of it.
Right, right, right. Also, one more thing. Do you think that it is the only responsibility of the business analyst or the business process consultant to go and discuss these processes with the customer, or the technical team also support the B or the BPC on that particular front?
So I would say whomsoever is working within the project, be it a BA or a developer or a process consultant,
Mhm.
it's their responsibility to take the entire implementation into the right direction. So even
Correct.
if I'm a developer and I'm just doing the technical stuff, even in that case, it is my responsibility to check whether the implementation that I'm going to do, it is going to align with the out of the box processes or not.
Processes or
And
not.
if you see that there is, so we are deviating from the out of the box, and there are no valid reasons for it, then you should reach out to your process consultant or the technical architect to basically talk about this and let the customer know the kind of risks that this kind of implementation would carry.
Correct. Correct, definitely. Because in some other conversation with someone else as well, or one day back or two days back, I guess. So he told that they have customized 5,000 BRs in the service now, and
Oh
now
my.
they're facing a problem in the upgrades. Because earlier nobody was interested to listen, and now people are coming, customers coming back. We have a lot of things to be problematic in the upgrades. How to sort out this particular part? Okay, I want to be emphasize one more thing, which you put it, technical depth. This is a very fancy word in the, and this starts with a T only, so we can say it's in our conversation, right?
Yes.
So, what do you mean by the word technical depth? Is it only to the coding, or technical depth we can say from the process side as well?
Okay, so it goes in both ways. Basically, so when we talk about any kind of debt, basically anything that you're carrying forward in the future as well,
Mhm.
that you need to take care of in future too, that becomes
Right.
your technical debt. So talk about the processes, the out of the box processes. You went there, you changed the entire change process or the request service request process or the IBC processes that we have. Now the problem with the change is, as and when the next release comes in, you'll have to basically merge the changes that you have with the
Right.
latest code that ServiceNow provided, because ServiceNow upgrade process will simply skip your changed items, and you will have to own those items for
Right.
yourself. And then when you're doing this, you'll also have to make sure that the existing implementation, it doesn't break. So I've
True.
seen customers spending months whenever they are upgrading their instances, because the example that you quoted, they changed 5,000 BRs.
BRs, come on, that's interesting case. Yes,
Huge,
definitely, yes.
huge. So if you are doing that kind of customization, then you will end up spending months during upgrades in
Right.
fixing those skipped records that you have during upgrades.
No, true. And everybody know that in the 6 months later release is coming. So by the time you upgrade one release, then the next is already on the door to
Already on the
implement
door.
it.
Yes, yes.
Definitely, yes. Okay, I'll take a question from Jerry here. Sandeep, what are your thoughts on what you think the term best practice, as everyone has a different perspective, whether they follow as a perspective. Wow, nice point you put it together. So if you want, I can just bring on the screen as well, or you can be read it again. Sandeep, what are
No,
your
no,
thoughts on the
I,
what you think the term best practice?
okay, so as Jerry has rightly mentioned, that it is basically the best practices are in your own perspective, basically, and there are standards that a lot of folks they have set based on their experiences, and they could vary from person to person because we have different kind of experiences in different
Right.
projects. But what I prefer is I basically try to accumulate all the best practices from different sources, and I see what all best practices can be fit in my exact context. So I basically draw lessons from those, and then
Mhm.
I apply them in my context, because something which is best practice for me could be different for you in your context.
Correct.
So
Right.
yeah,
So
that's
any
something.
specific use case you have in your mind now, which you can maybe give example that what you learn and what you accumulate together, and it's a best practice for you, but might not be fitting for Jerry or for me or Kelly or for anybody else, but fitting for you only.
So when it comes to the performance,
Hmm.
I've seen customers struggling with the performance on their production instances.
Right.
Why? Because they have a lot of garbage data within their ServiceNow tables. So first of all, the data which is not needed on your instance, go ahead and archive them,
Okay.
because if you are keeping data from last 10 years, there is no point of keeping that huge
Hmm.
data with your instance, because
Right.
it will end up creating a lot of performance issues for you. Your users will have to wait for the data that they are seeing on the screen. So
Right.
at best, keep the data which is needed, and rest should be archived.
Should be archived, right? Again, the same words that might be that is fitting for you or for your customer, but not fitting for my customer. They need the data for the last 10 years by anyway. Okay, good. And also put Jerry put the same one more point that what about the bad process decisions? What you're thinking on that particular point?
So I've seen consequences. I've seen the entire implementation going to scrap just because folks took a wrong decision, and months of work. It just got wasted because
Right.
a wrong process decision was taken. So I was having a conversation with one of the VPs in the US.
Hmm.
Uh, he is associated with a very big famous bank in the US. They have their
Okay.
own on-prem instance,
Oh,
and that instance is still on Aspen. Can you imagine?
definitely yes. You will not surprise. I saw a question on the committee. They're on the future release now. Still on the future release. Geneva future release now.
So now they are struggling in terms of taking their entire implementation to
To
the
the
cloud.
next level, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
and just because one of their ex VPs were ignorant in terms of the ServiceNow upgrades, they are now in a very bad situation, because in fact even the ServiceNow team is struggling to migrate that Aspen instance to the
To the
latest.
latest release, right? Right. It's too much gap from E
Exactly.
to Z. Definitely, 20 gaps are there, right? Good. Okay, so now I have one more point for HRSG enterprise HCM architecture driven by IT unfortunately influences HR processes. I'm not sure that it is your question or you're just putting a statement here, or might be if you have something to be discussed on that particular part, Sandeep. If not, maybe you can put a little bit more explanation that what exactly your question here, so that we can put together on the Sandeep part. Okay. And Jerry says, I always think that I have a different tools such as best practice in my tool and use in the relevant condition to meet the issues. Correct. Definitely correct on this particular part. Okay. Two questions in the queue. Jerry and Kelly is putting that questions. We'll come back on this in a few minutes. Now, again, one more point here regarding the contributions on this part.
Mhm.
We know that now this nominations has been open for the Rising Star.
Yep, yep.
What your take on that particular part, and how you would like to be asked or motivate people to nominate?
I would say people. I would urge people to basically nominate themselves if they are active on the community, because it adds a lot of value to your profile, and in some ways you become famous. You get a lot of motivation out of this. The contribution that you make, people basically trust you for your advice. So I would recommend folks to nominate themselves for Rising Stars, and this is, I would say, a very satisfying journey so far for me personally. So I would recommend other community fellow members to nominate themselves on the Rising Star.
Okay. Is it matter that I just have a five blogs or the five answer I should not nominate, or you think that anybody who is contributing by any way on the community on the service now they should nominate?
So anyone who is contributing in any form, be it blogs, videos on YouTube, or in any form or shape that they are contributing, even via their LinkedIn post, they
Mhm.
should nominate themselves for Rising Stars.
Right. I'll put one more word here, which is a little important, is that impact. If you're making an impact on anybody's life or in the ServiceNow ecosystem by sharing your knowledge, please go ahead and nominate. We still have a 17 days in our bucket. 31st July is the last date for nomination. Don't think that I will be a rising star or not, but if you think you contributed, it is the time to showcase that contribution on the bigger platform. Not might not be in that in this July framework, might be in the December framework, you become a rising star. So always have a faith in you, and please, as Jerry also say, believe in yourself. That is what I always says. If you have belief, you can do that particular part. Okay, now I'll put it two more questions, which put by Jerry first. What are the new features service now you are looking forward now? You talk
Okay,
HSD a
I
lot.
recently,
What is next?
I recently explored Gen AI features, the
Mhm.
summarization, case summarization, and it's fabulous. I mean, the kind of efficiency it will gain for the agents who are working on those cases,
Right.
it's going to add a lot of value there. So all things related to Gen AI, I am a big fan of those. So yeah, for me, Gen AI is the key feature that I'm looking forward to implement for the various customers.
Right. And do you think that Gen AI is going to be take a jobs?
No. So for those folks who are basically, designing the system, designing the AIs, and those who adopt with the AI, they will be in the system. They'll be in their jobs for sure. But those who are doing the operational kind of stuff, they'll be out of job very soon.
So it means to keep content in the market, we must increase or enhance our knowledge as well on that particular platform.
Yes, we'll have to see how we can align ourselves with the AI, with the latest features. So
Hmm.
I've seen folks earning, huge money just by having a skill set of prompt designer. So, uh,
Correct.
so we have to continuously upgrade ourselves, upskill, learn how AI works, and have to align ourselves with the latest features, because you cannot stick to the past. And you can
Correct.
take an example of myself. I used to be a mobile guy. Now I'm a ServiceNow guy, because I felt
Hmm.
that there were very limited scope in mobile. I realized that need of upgrading myself to a completely different technology. I took the plunge, and now I'm bearing the fruits of it. So yeah, I mean,
Correct. No, actually very much right, and it's exists in the in 2024. I can say the current era that if you want to be survive in the market, you must to be upgrade yourself. That is the only thing. It's old school days are gone now. You have to be go with the college days, latest release, latest products, latest features coming. You have to
yes,
be at least you should know about that. Don't just
exactly.
assume that it is going to be take my job and I should not do anything. Better align that, learn that, and move forward with this. Okay. Now Kelly is coming from the definitely from the my lines. I can say, how do you navigate pushing back on the customer demands that move further away from the best practice and long-term sustainability? Because you work as a process consultant, you work as a technical architect as well. So how you push back that?
So basically, we try to find a midway wherein if we can achieve something using the out of the box means, we definitely go with it. And at times, what happens is, if the customer is coming from a different system, they have a different perception of a functionality or a feature. So
Right.
what they want is they want to have the similar kind of functionality within ServiceNow as well. But if you go ahead and demonstrate the right way of things using some demos or POCs, then they get convinced like, yeah, this is what I want, but it is in a different way. So they also get some. They also take some time to get accustomed to the way ServiceNow works. So at times you have to take the help of POCs
Mhm.
and some prototypes using which they can basically get to know how things work in ServiceNow. Because if
Right.
someone is coming from BMC or if someone is coming from Salesforce, ServiceNow ecosystem is going to be completely different one for them. So you have to make them accustomed. And at times there are things that cannot be achieved via out of the box means. Then you have to go with the customization because in those cases you have to do it. You cannot
No,
just get away
that
from it.
Yep, that's true. Where the theoretical part did not work, we go for the practical. Might be little put POCs or demos kind of things helpful for the customer to understand that particular effect for a long term. Actually, that's true. And I'll share my experience as well. I was working for one of the client approximately 3 or 4 years back, and same thing happened. Kelly on these lines. So I pushed that no, it's not a good practice. You have to follow the best practice. You have to follow, and they release you from that particular project because they did not like this stuff. No, no, no. We want to be go with this one only. You are opposing us, so we are releasing you from that particular part. But at least I was happy that I put my part upfront. That no, this is what is you're getting a loss in the future. Today you can do your work, but in the future you will be losing that particular part as well.
So
Good.
let me quote another example over here. So as I
Mhm.
mentioned, I was doing process implementation, rather a change alignment with the latest processes for one
Right.
of our customers in the US. Now, during that implementation, we found that customer was using a printed checklist. So they used to have an image of a checklist on one of the SC tasks, which used to be printed by one of their executives on a. They used to have a hard copy of it. They used to
Okay.
check that checklist. They used to scan it and then again used to attach it on the
Okay.
active task. And that is a very absurd process that they used to follow.
Definitely yes.
So I basically reached out to the customer stating that I think there are ways by which we can achieve this within
Mhm.
ServiceNow. They do not have to carry a hard copy of the checklist. They can have checklist within the SC task itself. I demonstrated them that this is how they can achieve this.
Right.
And and when I reached out to the CIO, I basically showed him that this is the way they should use the checklist. But then when it came to their team who was working at the ground level, they were all folks who were 60 plus. And
Mm.
when I showed them this process, though
Right.
they liked it, but then they said we have been used to of doing the things in our own way since last 5-10 years, and
Right.
we'll find it very difficult to basically follow this the recommendation.
Computerized system. Right. Right. Right.
So, though CIO was aligned with me, but then finally they gave up because teaching the old dog new tricks at times it becomes very difficult. So
Quite right.
for
No, that
them, it was a difficult process to follow, so they did not apply that.
no, that's true actually, and I can relate this because it was somewhere in 2000 or before that when this computer has been introduced in the official or the government offices as well. So my father was in Food Corporation of India. So that time they introduced this computerized system. So a lot of people in their department complain, no, no, we are the old guys, we do the pen paper work only. But my father was little more interested on that particular part, and he said it's good. And now he spent only few hours in that time. He just spent only 1 or 2 hours and his work completed. Earlier, he bring the files at home, complete night day, he do the work and checking everything was there. So definitely something change is required, but we have to be consider that who is my stakeholders who are going to be used that particular change is also important that particular part. Good. One more question is come here that can you elaborate impact of Gen AI in the HR space? Any idea on that particular part? How it's going to be useful?
Yeah, it's going to be very useful. One of the examples that I've quoted earlier regarding the case summarization.
Right.
So, in HR space, when you're explaining your problem, you could you have your case mentioned in like 5,000 different words,
Right.
and then the HR agent who is taking care of your case, he might be having a workload of 1,000 cases or 500 cases. At times, it becomes very difficult for them to basically, work on individual cases and then understand the summary of each one of them and then work on them. So, with the help of case summarization, they can get the gist of what exactly the customer or the user wants, and then they can take action on it. So I would say case summarization is one of the key features using which a lot of efficiencies can be gained with the help of Gen AI.
Right. And
There are,
also, sorry, go ahead, Sandeep.
and there are other features too. So you can use Gen AI or NLU plugins within virtual agent itself. So you do not have to create a
Right.
case. At times, virtual agent would be sufficient to address your need as a user. And in those cases, the case deflection would take place. Your agents would not get overburdened with the cases. So Gen AI, it does help in many use cases, I would say.
Right, right. And also in this knowledge 2024, we see some kind of a good use cases of Gen AI as well, that with only a user who is on, or the user who is joining as a new joiner here, with just Gen AI, he can just get his own request created and everything will be related to each other, has been done on that particular part. Definitely you can watch CJ Desai's keynote on that particular part. That is a
Yes.
good to be see on that particular front. Okay, now another question come from your own company. Vijender put a question: how to maintain the consistency and discipline for learning new stuff despite being busy schedule.
I mean, yeah, you will have to take out time from your schedule, because if you really want to grow in the ServiceNow ecosystem, there are thousands of processes, and if you're not upgrading yourself, if you're not learning new stuff, then you will become obsolete in this, and your survival would become difficult within ServiceNow ecosystem, because
Right.
ServiceNow comes up with latest releases every 6 months, and there are tons and tons of features. And if you're not making yourself aware of those features, I know it is very difficult, because when you have different responsibilities at your professional end and then at the personal end, but you'll have to park some time in your daily schedule to learn new stuff. I usually have 1 hour of time daily to basically learn something new, and I do it in a very disciplined way. So if you'll do it, it will become a habit, and then you will get to learn things.
No, that's good, and that's the only way, because even though I read some in some book that everybody should learn at least one new skill in a day, at
Yep.
least one new term in a day, so that we can explore, we can enhance our lives on that particular part as
Exactly.
well.
Exactly. And there is another aspect to it, because like I am very passionate about service now. So I want to learn new things from others. I want to learn like what exactly is happening with the latest release, how many latest features have been introduced. So if you have
Right.
that kind of passion, it becomes a lot easier to learn something new. But if you're not passionate about the technology or the system that you are using, then probably it becomes very monotonous or boring for someone to
Correct.
basically learn new things. So,
No, definitely, definitely. That's should be inner voice should be there to be learned. Only then you can proceed further on that particular part. Good. Okay, now I'll come one more point here. Okay, so this point is came from the community only. So you are at which rank at the community at point of time?
So I'm currently a kilo patron.
Kilo patron. One thing which I want to be highlighted, because the purpose is not to be asked this thing. The purpose is that Sandeep is only, as he say, that he's only contributing in the community, and he raised, or he put on this a specific ranking. Now it means anybody, if you're thinking that I don't have much time to write blogs or the videos, please put your efforts on the community. At least make a habit to, when someone ask me, or a lot of people connect with me, I say, okay, make a habit that in a day you have to be answer only 10 questions on the community, and that will improve your knowledge as well, and that will increase your, I can say, your visibility as well. And this is what I can say Sandeep proved, that because you say that you're not bloggers or the YouTubers who don't write anything, but you just answer on that particular part. So this is also one way, that if you are contributing one space, that's also fine, but contribution is more important, and then your nomination is also important in the running stuff. That is what I want to bring it on that particular part.
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, what happens is, uh, by this contribution, not only I'm trying to help the fellow community members, but I also get to learn a lot of things with the kind of scenarios that these questions bring in to the picture. So let's say I'm working in the HR space,
Mhm.
and there is someone who brought up a question which I never thought of. Now
Yes,
that forces me to basically go look into the system and try to find out the ways by which I can help that member. And in that process, I also personally get to learn a lot. And or if you are contributing on a thread and someone brings in another aspect, then also you'll also get to learn a
right.
lot of new things from them. Because at times we have this notion that no, this is not possible, but now then someone else comes into the picture, he brings another aspect or another approach, and then you become basically aware of a new approach. So that's also, you get to learn a lot of things from the fellow community members.
Definitely. Yes, yes, yes.
I've seen a lot of folks. So Mark Menders or Mike or there are
Yes,
many other folks. Mike Sherritt from the HR space. Or,
right.
uh, uh,
And also sometimes you feel that why this person is not replying. A day has been gone, he did not reply anything. Though you feel worried that why he's not replying. He's all well, he's busy or he's out somewhere. Because when so nowadays when I log into the system, I know that few people are replying. Like Sandeep is there, you are there, Sandeep Datta is there, Mark Anders is there, Anders BGS is there, and there's a guy James Chun is there. A lot of guys who regularly reply on that particular part. If one day I did not find their reply in my mailbox, I find why they're not these why these guys are not here. Is all well with them or they're facing some issue, they're busy in office as well. Because this is what you follow the people like in this
yeah.
manner only. Good. Now one more question and then I'll take another question from the post only from here only. Do you have or do you face any situation in the community when you think now it's done from my side, I'm not getting any recognition, I'm not getting any helpful, I'm not getting acceptance as well, let's stop this and move out from this community?
I mean, yeah, there was a moment. So when the the MVP results came out for 2024, I
Hmm.
was slightly disappointed because I was expecting that someone would be there to recognize me. Because when I became the rising star for the first time,
Hmm.
I didn't expect that. But uh, by the time this MVP nomination for 2024 came, I was expecting that someone would recognize that. It was sort of a setback, but then
Right.
later I thought that why does it matter so much for me? I mean, it shouldn't be a motivating factor for me that I become an
Mhm.
MVP or not. I basically draw a lot of inspiration when a lot of folks, reach out to me. They thank me for the solutions that I'm proposing,
Perfectly
or
fine.
from
Yes.
the fellow community members who are basically suggesting better approaches than what I suggested previously. So, and then the core intent here should be to help someone, to basically, because at times I've seen folks spending hours and hours small fixing a small issue, and I've done that in past as well. When I was new to the ecosystem, I also spent hours on fixing a script which could have
Right.
taken minutes.
Minutes
So
one. Right.
so if the intent is to help others, then there is no point of thinking that whether you are an MVP or not. Rising star status is also enough for you.
Right.
So
No, this is what we build as the impact on everybody's life here, and I 100% echo with you on that particular part that when someone ping you separately, maybe on the Teams or maybe on the LinkedIn or the WhatsApp, hey Sandeep, can you help me on this part? I stuck, and you just say, okay, do this thing, it's done, and he feels so happy. Wow, you have given time to me, and this has been sorted out in a few minutes. Thank you so much. So this is what the motivation give us. Okay, ठीक है, not a MVP, not a rising star, but let's continue with the knowledge sharing as well. Okay, now
I
I'll
don't know whether you know Anvesh Kumar M or not.
yes,
He
I
is
know.
one of the fellow community members. He contributed a lot in different spaces within community itself. But he reached out to me. He told me that the nominations for MVP were going on. Then later, once the results were out, he was slightly disappointed. I told him that you do not have to get disheartened with this because you're already doing a good job on the community side. But somehow his contribution became lesser and lesser later on. But
Hmm.
if he's listening to this, I would urge him to contribute more because he's one of the fantastic guy who has
Right.
been contributing very well on the community front, and I mean sooner or later he'll become an MVP. That is for sure.
No, that's true. That's true. It's a long journey. Definitely, it's a long journey to be taken on that particular part. Okay, we are on the time now. We'll take the last question here. Can you share some thoughts on where HRSD sits in the CSDM model? Any idea on that particular part?
Yeah, so common service data model, I would say that is a very technical kind of stuff. And in ServiceNow ecosystem, every product line in some ways connected to the other product line. So even if the HR space, it is somewhere connected with your ITSM space very well. And in the common service data model, the kind of requests that you are placing for the new hire, they ultimately go to your IT side of things or within the ITSM. So yes, I mean in the common service data model, these are all the pieces of puzzle that fit in quite well when it comes to the CSDM, and that is what I appreciate most about ServiceNow. I mean the different product lines, the way they integrate with each other, that's simply beautiful and fantastic, I would say.
Right. And
And
just to be put more on your point as well, that in the CSDM 4.0, I did not find anything here, but in the 5.0, if you see that they have introduced the workflow specific, like IT workflow, industrial workflow, customer workflow, and HR workflow.
yep,
And that is specifically on the technical part. Even though
yes,
that domain has been changed, now it's not a technical service, not technical service, it's something has been changed. I'm missing that point. So that has been replaced now, and now they're introducing the workflow specific workflows in that particular domain where your HRSD also sit there and can support you on the CI perspective on that particular part. Maybe you can watch or there's a webinar happen on 8th of July. If you can get this on the LinkedIn or somewhere, watch that recording, you will find a little bit more idea about that particular part, that how HRSG is going to be, sorry, how CSGM is going to be put something on the HRSG part as well. Okay. Okay, one more question, Sandeep. There are many outside the MVP chase who contribute to the committee in their own way. What you are doing is a great and appreciate you are MVP. See, even though you are not MVP, but people think, people appreciate, people pray for you that you should be MVP very soon on that particular part. And this is what the that I can say the impact actually by building it on this particular part. Okay. Good, Sandeep. So now almost done. I'm sure that if there's no question on that particular part, thank you so much for your feedback and the kind words for the Sandeep as well.
thank
Okay.
you.
What is the last message for the community here?
For the the last message I would say, keep on contributing, guys, keep on helping the fellow members, and please be gentle with the new members who are joining in the community, because at times I've seen some harsh words for the fellow community members who are joining in. The thing which is very basic for you could be very important or a very difficult thing for them. So please be gentle with the new members, because there are a lot of new folks joining in the community these days. So yeah, this is what I would say. And
Right.
keep on contributing and keep on adding value to the ServiceNow ecosystem.
Yes, make an impact. That is more important. That is what we can say. Okay, Sandeep. Last point from my side. I'm sure Jerry is also will be happy with this. Is it possible for you to turn the camera and we can have a look of the office as well?
Sure,
What
sure,
else
sure.
you have? What else
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have in
yeah.
your office?
So this is our office. We have different plans over here, though they are the artificial ones.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's there. The bigger Infobeats logo. Can you see it? I'm not sure
Hmm.
because I've turned the camera from here. Some stuff going on here.
No, that's
We
look
have
good.
a nice gazebo kind of stuff over here, and then there is huge Infobeans logo. There is some maintenance work going on at the moment,
Okay.
but this is how the office looks.
Nice, nice. Because
And
for me, it's like I can say 2 years I'm not in the office now, even though because I have a completely work from home, so I don't know about the office
these
nowadays.
are
But
different
definitely,
pods that we have here. And
right.
yeah, I mean there are many conference rooms, and the entire floor is quite big, I would say. And this is one of the floors that we have within the office. There are other floors too. So
Yes.
let me give you a walk around
Right.
of it.
And
There is
I
another
think
big,
one more point is that, and this is also called a transformation
yeah,
because might be employees are fed up with the structure way of the bay that okay, line by line everybody is sitting like this, and I see a
yeah,
lot of companies are changing their workplaces now and making it more modern, adding a lot of things like specific cabins, adding the coffee spaces
Yes.
as well, adding the game section as well. I know that in the
Yeah.
Globant they have a complete pool table and everything is there on that particular part as well.
Yeah.
Good to know. And if I come to India, I'll try to be come to your office to have a look
Definitely,
around that
definitely.
particular. Okay, so one more last point, last question.
Yes.
How you're feeling now after 1 hour?
I mean, it's a different experience altogether. I was initially very reluctant in terms of taking this video session because, um, but then yeah, I'm happy that I took the plunge and decided to join this session.
Nice. Good, good, good. One more thing. Sorry, I forgot. I'll take one more or 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. I'm not sure that not a lot of people don't know. Even I was forget that how Sandeep know me. Sandeep, can you put some lights on that particular
Yeah,
part?
yeah. So I got a chance to first interact with Atul when he applied for one of the positions within Infobeans in the year 2020, I believe.
Right, somewhere that time, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I interviewed him, and I was impressed with his process knowledge. I reached out to my manager stating that this guy is a process consultant and we should hire him. But on the flip side, the position that we were looking for was a ServiceNow technical architect. And then on the technical side, yeah, there were some improvements that I saw. But
Oh,
since we were
nice.
looking for a technical architect, so it did not match with the position at that time. But yeah, I would say it was. I was thoroughly impressed with your experience in the IPC processes.
Right. Okay. Thanks. And now you can see how the karma come back. Now you're now you're on the other side, and I'm on the other frame. Okay. Good to close this now. But before we close, let's have a follow the tradition because God give us the power, strength. Let's thank to the God once again to whom you worship, what He give us to us, all power, strength, words, thoughts, and then we formally close the session as well together. Okay. Just few seconds pause, and then we'll go forward.
Sure.
Okay, Sandeep. So we are almost 6 minutes over from our time. Once again, thank you so much for your time in this session. And I can say now, Sandeep is no more unknown to me. He's more known to me. Process consultant, project manager, developer, multiple domains developer, and architect as well. HRSG space guy as well. Rising star, community power as well. A lot of things Sandeep carry here. Thank you so much, Sandeep, once again for joining this session with me on Saturday. And thank you so much, everybody who was on the live session with me. I see a lot of people who are joining continuously or every week with me on that particular part. But now it's time to take a break for approximately 1.5 months. It's a complete summer break for my side as well. No further session till August, I can say. I'll back again in September with more new unknown people on the platform and we'll know about them about this particular part. Thank
Well,
you so
thanks
much
a lot.
once again.
Thanks a
Take
lot,
care.
Atul, for
Yeah.
giving me this opportunity and having me here. And yeah, it was a great experience altogether. And I get to learn a lot of things from you and the kind of way you are contributing to the community. It's simply fantabulous. So thank you.